Oh my god, it's so intoxicating. Probably the most luxurious fragrance I have in my entire collection. Super long lasting. I think I get 10 to 12 hours. This fragrance is something else. People can smell it. Gosh, what can I say? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle. I review fragrances. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. And if you're one of my loyal returning subscribers, thank you so much for being here today with me. Guys, today is all about long-lasting and luxurious smelling fragrances. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if that's the case, please consider subscribing. I haven't been on YouTube for 3 years. I just came back 2-3 months ago. So your support is highly, highly appreciated. And when you subscribe, share this video, give me a thumbs up, or even leave a comment down here. It tells YouTube to show my video to more people, and that way it will help me grow my channel. So again, your support is highly appreciated. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first long-lasting and luxurious fragrance I have on my list is none other than Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum. Now, I really had to go back and forth with my thoughts about whether including Baccarat or not, because, you know, there's nothing I could add that hasn't been said already, right? It's a fragrance that has been reviewed and talked about and hyped and everything since at least 2020. And I wasn't sure whether you guys could be interested in seeing this fragrance one more time. But I think you know, if you talk about luxury fragrances, Baccarat Rouge 540 has to be in that list. And trust me, there's no dupe on the market that comes close to the original, either the Eau de Parfum or the Extrait. I have both. I prefer the Extrait. Honestly, the Eau de Parfum doesn't last on my skin, but the Extrait de Parfum is long-lasting. It's not the longest-lasting Extrait de Parfum I have in my collection. Honestly, as an Extrait, it could last longer. However, Extraits de Parfum have different oil concentrations, so just because a fragrance is an Extrait de Parfum and you have another Extrait de Parfum in your collection, that doesn't mean they're going to have a similar performance. This is like a soft Extrait, I would say. It's not in the 30-40% oil concentration. I don't know what's the concentration here, but I guess it's close to, I don't know, maybe 32, something around that neighborhood. It's not close to the 40s, which is the highest oil concentration we usually have in Extrait de Parfum or pure Parfum. Now, it's a soft Extrait, as I was saying. This is a skin scent. This fragrance won't project like crazy. It won't leave a, you know, intoxicating trail or anything like that. The Eau de Parfum does have a very beautiful trail. The Extrait doesn't have that power, but that's exactly because it's an Extrait. If you are looking for a fragrance with a beautiful trail, usually you will find that more in Eau de Toilette rather than in other parfums or Extraits. The higher the oil concentration, the closer the fragrance sits on the skin. It will last longer, but it will sit closer to the skin. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But this fragrance, I love it. I love it, and I will keep buying for as long as it exists on the market. It's beautiful. It's an oriental floral with almond and saffron as the most prominent notes. The almond note here is pretty prominent, so is the saffron. I think the saffron here is more prominent than in the original Eau de Parfum. To me, this perfume, although it's debatable, but to me, this fragrance makes the wearer feel happy, empowered, makes the wearer feel very special. To me, it's a 100% nighttime type of scent. It is very luxurious. Every time I wear this fragrance, if someone comes close to me or hug me, people will always ask me, what am I wearing? I haven't had that experience with the Eau de Parfum, which I also love, but with the Extrait, although it's a skin scent, people can smell it, and it is really beautiful. I smell it on other people, and I truly love how it smells. So it's very recognizable. I know what they are wearing, and but people who are not into fragrances, or if they don't have this fragrance, they don't know what it is, but they ask you, what are you wearing? It's really beautiful. You smell amazing. And yeah, it's a beautiful fragrance. There's not much I can say that hasn't been said already, but I think it was worth including Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum in this luxurious and long-lasting. The next luxurious and super long-lasting fragrance I have on my list is Crystal Saffron by Matière Première. Gosh, what can I say? So I'm obsessed with saffron, both in the kitchen and in perfumery. I've loved saffron as a spice. I've loved saffron as a note way before it became a trend. Saffron, to me, is the most elegant spice, together with cardamom probably. But saffron, in my opinion, is the most elegant note, spicy note. And in the same way I say that cedar is the most elegant woodsy note in perfumery, I say the same about saffron. Saffron is super elegant. It's a very, very strong type of note. It's very sharp. Usually the sharpness is only in the opening, and as the fragrance transitions, the saffron will be more toned down. However, there's something very particular about saffron fragrances, saffron scented fragrances, and it is that you will always smell the saffron. No matter how complex the fragrance is, it will never disappear. You will smell the saffron from the opening and for the entire time that fragrance remains on your skin. It's very noticeable. It's a very also recognizable type of note. This fragrance is something else. I think this is the most beautiful saffron fragrance, saffron forward fragrance I have in my collection. This one together with Babylon by Penhaligon's. I think they are the most exquisite saffron fragrances you can find. This one in particular has a very translucent, almost glassy aspect to it that I think that's what makes the name perfect, Crystal Saffron, because it does have that glassy and translucent aspect to it. It's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Although saffron as a spice and being that strong, I think it's more, I won't say appropriate because there's no rules when it comes to fragrances, but I think saffron truly blooms in colder weather. However, I've worn this during the summer and I can tell you it smells divine and probably less sharp than, under colder weather conditions. Another thing that makes this fragrance very particular, very different in my opinion, is that usually when you see saffron, as most spices, they are combined with other spices, either cinnamon or sometimes clove. But in this case, this is the only spice this fragrance has. It's like very pure, very saffron centered. It's also woodsy. It has ambroxan. Ambroxan, I talked about ambroxan before. Ambroxan is a synthetic molecule that helps with projection and also with lasting power. It also has a woodsy scent, so it's perfect to combine with other woodsy fragrances to enhance that woodsy aspect. My favorite ambroxan is Eccentric 02 by Eccentric Molecules. But any ambroxan works. Any ambroxan can do the job when it comes to enhancing that woodsy aspect and also helping with lasting power. It's not the spicy, ambery, opulent, oriental type of fragrance. It's not ambery either. It's a very elegant fragrance. And as I said before, I believe I said before, it's perfect for all year round. It has that glassy, translucent component. It's not earthy. It's not ultra spicy, although the saffron is very present and sharp in the opening. It's very elegant. I think this is a fragrance you can definitely rock all year round, which is not common in spicy fragrances. Usually spicy fragrances are thicker or syrupy, ambery, resinous, balmy, the typical oriental ambery fragrances, right? In those fragrances is where we usually find saffron. Here, although the fragrance is saffron centered, no doubt this is a saffron forward fragrance, but still, I think it's very versatile. Now, I think this is a nighttime type of scent. It's quite strong, so if you decide to wear it during the day, which is perfect, just be mindful when you spray all over, because if you are part of the oversprayers team during the day, it can be too strong. Yeah, I highly encourage you to try this fragrance. Super long lasting, super luxurious. I think I get 10 to 12 hours from this fragrance, and that's not even overspraying. So highly recommend Crystal Saffron by Matière Première. The next one is probably the most luxurious fragrance I have in my entire collection, and that's a lot to say because I have quite a few fragrances that smell luxurious, but this one is very, very special, and it is L'Essai de l'Arona No. 6 by Graf. So I don't know if you're familiar with Graf, but it's a super high-end jeweler, and they have the largest square emerald cut diamond in the world with the best clarity and best color ever found. Their jewels are second to none, and so is their fragrance line. When you smell their fragrances, and if you're familiar with Graf, you can understand why their fragrances smell how they smell. Seriously, there's nothing more luxurious than this. They don't have too many fragrances. I think they have 8 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. And they don't have a name. They come with a number written in Roman numerals. This is number 6, like a V as in Victor, and like an I. And it's very similar. If you need something as a point of reference, I would say this is very similar to Oud Bouquet by Maison Lancôme. It's quite similar. This is a little bit less sweet, a little bit less jammy and syrupy. It's deeper. It has a little bit of a smokiness that Oud Bouquet doesn't have. Oud Bouquet has praline, which provides that gourmand aspect. This doesn't have that, at least I can pick that. But this fragrance is like 20 notches above Oud Bouquet. I love Oud Bouquet, but it is very similar. They smell similar. This is a little bit more animalic, but in the good way. And let me tell you, I can't stand animalic fragrances. Even the slightest animalic note, it's a no-go for me. However, I'm in love with this fragrance. It's a typical winter, very cold weather type of scent. The colder the weather, the better. Oh my God, it's so intoxicating. Let's spray a little bit. You can pick that subtle animalic note in the opening. Oh, I grabbed 2. It's not too strong, and it goes away like in 5 minutes, but you can pick that animalic note in the opening. I hope that doesn't turn you off, because the fragrance is absolutely out of this world, and especially during the night, gosh, it is a head turner. This fragrance lasts more than 12 hours on my skin. It's extremely long lasting. It's annoyingly long lasting. I also want to show you the bottle, because as you can see, it's inspired by the typical emerald cut. And since their world record is a square diamond, a square emerald cut diamond, if you see the lid, it looks, and it's very heavy too. Yeah, it's definitely inspired in the world record emerald cut diamond, square emerald cut diamond. It's a beautiful fragrance. If you have a chance to try these fragrances, please give them a chance. I found one at a very good price on the internet. I did the research for you and have the link down below in the description box. But I bought this in Germany, and it was pretty expensive. This was one of the most expensive fragrances in my collection. But now you can get it for a pretty good price here in the US as well. Gorgeous, very deep, very voluptuous, very resinous, very balmy. I would put, believe it or not, I would put this one in the same category as I would put Live Intense by YSL. It's for a bold, unapologetic person, someone who knows what she wants. I think it's a typical female type of scent. So that's why I say she, but I don't think it's unisex, but you can wear whatever you want. It is a fragrance for a confident person. If you are shy, if you don't want to command attention, don't wear this fragrance. You will be smelled a mile away. It has an outstanding nuclear projection. You will fill up a room with only a couple spritzes. The sillage is also pretty impressive, and it lasts for about an hour and a half or 2. And you walk and you will leave a trail behind you. But this is not the sheer type of trail. This is something very heavy. It could be obnoxious for some people, so be mindful with your spritzes, but you do you. If you love to overspray, please help yourself and be happy. But this fragrance is strong. It's a powerhouse. The next long-lasting and super luxurious smelling fragrance on my list is Le Lion, or Le Lion in French, by Chanel, and it belongs to the Les Exclusives line. So I reviewed this fragrance back in 2020 or 2021 when they launched it here, because this fragrance was released first in the Middle East. I think it took a year and a half for it to make it to the US. And as soon as they received it, they called me because they knew I was interested. I bought it, and then it was sold out for I don't know how long. And I'm very happy I have this fragrance. It is out of this world. It's the epitome of luxury, just like L'Essai de la Rona #6. I forgot to mention that, but it is the epitome of luxury. And this perfume was created to embody her vibrant, passionate, and unapologetic personality. And this perfume captures that to perfection. It was created by Olivier Polge. He also created Cuir Beluga, which is my favorite from La Telematier line from Guerlain, and many others. He's a top master perfumer. And yeah, only a master perfumer can create something like this. This is a masterpiece. It's one of my favorites from Les Exclusifs line. And I think that Le Lion or Le Lion together with Comet, I would say these two are the most different from the entire Les Exclusifs line. All of the fragrances are different among them, of course, but you can still smell that typical elegant, slightly aldehydic Chanel DNA. However, in this one and Comet, you don't get that. They are actually both pretty modern, and this one in particular, I would say it's very contemporary, a very avant-garde type of scent. It's 100% signature scent worthy if you don't get bored easily, because you know a signature scent is something that you would wear for any occasion, every day, every time you want to wear something, right? So that's kind of the concept of a signature scent. However, if you are a person who gets bored about fragrances easily, I wouldn't recommend this one because it's a very, very unique fragrance. This perfume is the least safe blind buy on the market, period. Never blind buy Le Lion. Just go to the counter, go to the Chanel counter and sample it, because first of all, it's something that truly needs to be smelled in person. But on the other hand, it's a very particular fragrance. It's very strong in citruses in the opening, but then you'll start smelling from the beginning, even in the opening. The moment you pull the lid off, you will start smelling labdanum, which is a resin that is used in perfumery to recreate the scent of ambergris. It also has a leathery aspect to it. Some people think Le Lion is a leather fragrance, but it's not. It's not a leather fragrance. It's actually labdanum there. So it doesn't have that animalic component that many leather fragrances have. However, it has that leathery aspect to it. So if you like leather fragrances, but you can't deal with the animalic notes in leather, this one is a must try. Again, it's not leather, it's labdanum, it's a resin, but it does have a leathery scent. And if you don't know it's labdanum, you can think it's leather for sure. Labdanum is also reminiscent of ambergris. It's used in perfumery as a stabilizer. It's a very radiant, very vibrant. It's very citrusy in the opening, as I was saying, but that citrusy opening doesn't last more than 15-20 minutes. And after that, the fragrance remains linear. It won't change. I tried on my skin and several other people, and it doesn't. The fragrance doesn't change. It's pretty linear and super duper long lasting. It lasts 12 hours, if not more, on my skin. Let me try a little bit here. Divine. Now, when I tend to wear this fragrance for night outs, and when I do that, I tend to overspray a little bit, but I also wear this fragrance during the day, and when I wear it during the day, I just go with 2 spritzes max. Here, dab, dab, here, and I'm good to go, because it can be very, very strong. Seriously, this fragrance will channel your inner diva. It's absolutely gorgeous. It smells very luxurious. I always say, and I said the same when I reviewed this fragrance years ago, but if the color gold had a scent, it will be Le Lion. It's bright and vibrant and luxurious looking and luxurious smelling as gold. Again, not a safe blind buy by any means, but it's definitely worth trying if you like different type of fragrances. It doesn't smell like the typical Chanel fragrances, so either if you like Chanel fragrances and you expect something like that, you won't find that in this perfume. And conversely, if you don't like Chanel fragrances for whatever reason, still give this one a try, because it's very different, very unique, very bold. And I think if you like this strong and bold type of scents that last forever, this one is a must try. Projection is nuclear, and the sillage is very strong too. As I said before, lasting power is incredible, 10, 12 hours, even more than 12 hours sometimes, depending on the season. The season affects how a fragrance performs. So I can tell you safely between 10 and 12 hours, but I have had the experience of having this fragrance on for more than 12 hours. People will notice your presence with this. That's what I was saying. Be mindful with your spritzes because you can go from diva to obnoxious. Yeah, just keep that in mind. And last but not least, I wanted to tell you that if you love Chanel fragrances and you think you want to try this fragrance just because you're a Chanel lover, you will probably be disappointed because this fragrance does not represent the typical Chanel DNA. Nothing vintage here. As I said, it's a pretty contemporary type of scent, and I highly encourage you to try it. I don't know, I am a very open-minded person, and especially when it comes to perfumery, if you really want to grow and if you want to develop your nose, you have to be open to new olfactory groups, new notes, different things. So if you're always, sticking to your smell like a snack type of thing, I don't know, I think it will be too boring to have a collection just around those type of scents, right? Or if you just like citrusy fragrances or freshies, that's fine. I also love them, but I think there's a moment for everything. And it is very important if you're building a collection and if you are starting your journey in the perfume world, that you're open to try different things. You don't necessarily need to like it, but at least give yourself the chance to try different things. Yeah, Le Lion by Chanel is exclusive. And the last one for today is a fragrance from one of my favorite houses of all time, which is Gold Immortals by Ex Nihilo. This fragrance smells so luxurious. So it's being created by one of my favorite perfumers, Jordi Fernandez, and he also created Explicit, The Hedonist, and Blue Talisman from Ex Nihilo as well. So, and those are one of my favorite fragrances from the house. So yeah, this perfumer never disappoints. And Gold Immortals is something else. It's really very unique, very beautiful. I tend to overspray when I wear this fragrance. I wear it all year round, day and night, and I always get the same type of comments. And that's interesting because, of course, you smell amazing, all that, the typical, right? But there's something that everybody tells me when they smell the fragrance. And the next comment, it's always the same. It smells different. It's different. It's very unique. So the unique component is there, and it's something that I really appreciate about this house. I always say Ex Nihilo is one of those houses that no matter what you try, no matter, they have many fragrances in their portfolio, but no matter what you try, what olfactory group, what doesn't matter, all of their fragrances are super duper unique. There's nothing on the market like them. In fact, it's the other way around. You might find in the market many fragrances that will remind you of Ex Nihilo fragrances, but their fragrances are super duper original, very unique. It's a very unique house. I love them. I think it's one of the houses I have more fragrances from, and it's totally addictive. I'm always waiting to see what's their next launch will be. So Gold Immortals is very fruity in the opening. It has bergamot. Bergamot is a very perfumey type of citrus. I prefer bergamot over lemon, for example. Lemon is widely used in traditional Italian perfumery, and it's very nice. It's very fresh. It's a typical summer fragrance note. However, you can see bergamot in all year round type of scents, daytime or nighttime type of fragrances, it doesn't matter. Bergamot is a very common top note. It's also very sparkly, very almost fizzy. I love bergamot, and in this case it's combined with pear. So yes, we have a very juicy perfume here. And it has a floral component, which is peonies, that make this perfume super duper feminine as well. Let me try it on my skin directly. So good. This fragrance is pretty complex. When you smell it at first, you might think it's a simple fragrance, but it's not. It's pretty complex. And the dry down is ambery and musky. It takes a completely different direction than what you expect when you first smell the fragrance. Super luxurious smelling. It's very long lasting. I get anywhere between 8 and 10 to 12 hours. I tend to overspray this fragrance. I never wore it without overspraying. So maybe if I don't overspray, I will get 6 to 8 hours. But with my overspraying, I get anywhere, as I said, between 8 and 12. It's pretty long lasting, day or nighttime type of fragrance. I particularly enjoy this one during the night. It's very sexy, very feminine, it's very sophisticated, very luxurious. Luxurious, I swear, is the word that best defines this perfume. I highly recommend that you try this, because even if you don't like it, it's something different, and I would love for you to have the chance to appreciate different fragrances from, what we have around all the time. Gold Immortals by Ex Nihilo. So guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed my video about long-lasting, luxurious fragrances. Let me know if you'd like to see a part 2, because I have way more fragrances in this category that I would love to share with you, but it's up to you. Let me know in the comments. Stay safe, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.